What's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Godsey for Justin Godsey TV. Thank you so much for checking out tonight's video. Now, tonight, guys, we're here recapping WWE Battleground 2014. Now, this is not really a show that you guys would really want to go back and watch. As you guys have been seeing me on Twitter the entire night, if you guys are following me on Twitter, I'm going to be changing my Twitter name, so I'll make sure you guys, I'll leave the link down below to my new Twitter name. So, this was not a show for you guys to go back and watch. This is probably, one of the worst shows that I have ever seen in the WWE. The kickoff show was not good at all. The commentary, Renee Young's a very great, very bright, announcer, broadcaster for the WWE going down the line, since they're so into the social media. Social media has really taken, over, the world for a while now, and the WWE's using that to their advantage, and Renee Young is doing the whole broadcasting show, plugging a lot of the good stuff, but she's a good broadcaster for the future. But overall, Booker T, Christian, Alex Riley for the most part, I can't stand that guy doing the kickoff show. I mean, it's a good idea for the WWE, to get the fans wild up for the or warmed up for the show, but today's show was just not very good at all. It was completely lopsided. The only thing that I really did enjoy from this matchup was the Usos versus the Wyatt family. That matchup was pretty entertaining, so let's get right into it. The first match was Adam Rose taking on Fandango, with Layla and Summer Rae joining, the entourage here, and they're now Rosebuds or whatever, Adam Rose wants to call his new, entourage. Fandango, getting in this matchup, Summer Rae and Layla are kind of copying the beautiful people in TNA. I heard the WWE was trying to bring back Michelle McCool at some point, but they were not able to do so, so they're going with Layla and Summer Rae, who, both of those divas, were blinded by the, their fascination with Fandango, and Fandango had the hots for Summer Rae while he was with Layla, and Layla was upset because Fandango was crushing with Summer Rae. So, they decided to break away from Fandango and join forces for this night with Adam Rose. I know they had a thing with Dolph Ziggler for a while, and during the kickoff matchup, the Summer Rae and Layla was pretty much highlighted by the two smacks on the left side and also on the right side by Layla and Summer Rae. Adam Rose defeats Fandango pretty easily. The second matchup was Cameron versus Naomi. Now, I had a lot of writing on this matchup. A completely different look from both divas going into this matchup. Cameron coming out with kind of like a schoolgirl kind of look, trying to bring sexy back in the WWE. I really like, her attire, I should say. Then Naomi also, they're having a completely, different look. Naomi in all black, with their hair tied up. So it's pretty much a whole new look for both divas, as, this whole Funkadactyl, dancing, having their hair down, and, Cameron re-dyed her hair where it's like a black and a blondish put together. They put on a pretty interesting fight. I didn't really like the whole outcome for it, because I said in my preview for this matchup that I think Naomi's going to end up winning, the big pay-per-view matches, and then Cameron just getting under her skin week in and week out, during Raw. But Cameron did defeat Naomi in this matchup, and I just cannot wait to see, going down the line of this, rivalry between these two. Now, going into the actual show, the Usos and the Wyatt family kicked off in this 2 out of 3 Falls Tag Team Championship matchup. The favorite going into this matchup was the Wyatt family, as, a lot of people are saying, how many times, are the Wyatt family going to get pushed over for the tag team titles? The Usos are having a good run. They did have a little bit of a conflict. Jimmy and Jey Uso, I'm the better looking brother and everything like that, just little childish antics backstage. But I don't see a breakup of the Usos, because they're pretty much right next to them, and the Wyatt family are the heart and soul of the tag team division. It's primarily just those two tag teams in the tag team division, so they really need to keep them together. And it was overall a very good fight. Eric Rowan doing, what Eric Rowan does. Luke Harper, diving. He's doing these suicide dives. I almost said suicidal dives. He's doing these suicide dives, something that we've never seen, from a guy of his stature to really go out there and really improve a whole lot. The Wyatt family got the first fall, the Usos with the second. The third one was very entertaining, because Eric Rowan would not go down. Luke Harper as well. It was a very great back and forth kind of a matchup, and Luke Harper, he got pinned because, at the end of the matchup, you saw a double, Superfly, Jimmy Snuka kind of a drop on what the Usos do as their signature finisher move. They both did it, they both did it together. I was like, what the hell are they doing? And they came out on top, and they did their, Jimmy Superfly Snuka moves in tribute to him, and that's how the match ended. The Usos retaining their tag team championships. I thought, it would be good to put them on the Wyatt family. I am a big Uso fan. I am not a kind of guy that's going to go out there and go crazy for them. But you know what? I really like Jimmy and Jey Uso. They're right next to the Hardy Boys as my favorite tag teams to watch. I did enjoy, the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, the old 2000s, those tag teams back in the 2000s. But Jimmy and Jey Uso, I really do like those, high-flying maneuvers that they do. And you know what? They're right up there, next to the Hardy Boys in my ranking. At number 4 in this matchup, in the matchup ranking, it was AJ Lee versus Paige for the Women's Championship or the Divas Championship. Now, before this, he had a little bit of a promo backstage where Seth Rollins was doing an interview, pretty much promoting, saying like, I'm the champion, I could cash in tonight if he wanted to. And out of nowhere, Dean Ambrose came in and attacked Seth Rollins, and it all turned out to be a big, put down for the rest of the show. I was not impressed. The one match between the Usos and the Wyatt family at this point was fantastic, but the pre-show, the kickoff show was just not good at all. So I'm having a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. So building up into this whole interview segment. Out of nowhere, Triple H said, get Dean Ambrose out of my building. I don't want him in the building. And Triple H, hits Twitter, like 15, 20 minutes later saying that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins has been called off for tonight. I'm like, are you kidding me now, WWE? I mean, this is the bullcrap. This is the reason why we do not buy the network. They screw us over. The network is killing us right now. And the WWE thinks it's a good idea to pull this matchup from the card. Everybody was just excited about this card. And you know what? Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose was the match to steal the show. And, Michael Cole, I can't stand that guy either. He goes out there and says that, the Usos and the Wyatt family automatically steal the show. I'm like, dude, we're only one match in the actual pay-per-view. We haven't even seen anything else. But you know what? At the end of the show, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, they were not competing against each other. I am very disappointed. The WWE should be ashamed of themselves for, letting that match, go to a forfeit. Seth Rollins won by forfeit. And it's just completely dumb. But, they had backstage, segments where Seth Rollins was leaving the arena, later on in the night. And all of a sudden, he's hiding in Seth Rollins' trunk of his car as he's trying to leave the arena. And, that's, the last thing that we see. We see Seth Rollins getting away from Dean Ambrose after hitting him in the face. And he drives off with the trunk of his car just like wide open. So that's the last thing we saw for them. So this is going to be continuously going on until SummerSlam. So hopefully we'll get something going there. But let's get back to the Women's Championship match. AJ Lee versus Paige. Everybody thought that this was going to be a night where Paige actually turns heel. This was also not very, a good matchup. I thought we would expect a little bit more. I was running really high on the two Divas matches tonight because I really like the backstory for Cameron and Naomi. I like what Naomi has been doing. She's a little bit of high-flying maneuvers, really, advancing her in-ring skill ability. And then also you got, AJ Lee, the defending champion. And who doesn't like AJ Lee? AJ Lee is a great, talent in the WWE Women's Division. You also got Paige. We're just waiting for Paige's, time for her to turn heel. The WWE really needs that legitimate heel, but, next to Lana in the WWE. And, Paige is still trying to, go by AJ Lee, and so she starts clapping for her when she enters the ring. I'm like, come on, WWE, you've got to do something in your Divas division. You want to go out there and I respect what they're trying to do. They're going to go out there. They're going to put Paige in a matchup, go over right now. But, at some point in the match, you've got to look at Paige as, getting a little bit jealous, getting a little bit pissed off at AJ Lee because she retained her championship, and then just blindly attack her from behind. Start a legitimate angle between these two. You just can't have them going buddy-buddy because there's not a legitimate rivalry here. You can't really count on Cameron and Naomi being your subject rivalry right now in the Divas division. You got to look towards, the best two divas in the Divas division, and that's AJ Lee and Paige. But AJ Lee, at the end of the day, she retained her championship, and hopefully that, tomorrow night on Raw will get something, going forward. The next matchup up was Rusev versus Jack Swagger. Now, I really was looking forward to this matchup. You got Russia taking on the United States and Jack Swagger. I was really much pulling for Jack Swagger. I was very interested in seeing this matchup go, and I was going for Jack Swagger, but the way that the WWE, finished this matchup out by a count out, Jack Swagger was getting the upper hand of Rusev the entire match, but I was like, this is going to be the day that, Rusev's winning streak ends. Rusev is dominating the entire WWE locker room with victories over, Xavier Rhodes, R-Truth, a couple of independent wrestlers, you name it, he's done it, and, he's starting to heating up in, the mid-card right now, and, Jack Swagger, one of the, on top top of the, mountain of the mid card right now. Put him into a rivalry. He had, Big E Langston, had his little run in with Rusev, but you know what? It turned out not to be a very successful run there. And, I can see Big E Langston going back, and he's going to be going back down to the mid card, figuring something out there. But now it's the next, guy in line, and that's Jack Swagger. Now, Jack Swagger was not in the Canada tapings due to his driving or DUI I think it was last year or something like that, and he was not a part of the show. So, build up for this matchup was not as good. The match ended, when Jack Swagger hit his head on the ring post outside the ring, and Rusev, climbed into the ring and got the count out victory over Jack Swagger. And I'm like, this is not a good way to end this matchup. I want to see a 1-2-3, or I want to be a submission. Rusev having the camel clutch, Jack Swagger with American lock, or I think it's what it's called, or the ankle lock. The normal term for it. I wanted to see this submission match go down. I want to see something go down in that kind of criteria. I was hoping that we can see someone submit tonight, whether it's Swagger and having Rusev have this one, and then at SummerSlam have Rusev drop it. But you know what? Rusev wins by a count out. Hopefully we can see an ultimate submission match between Rusev and Jack Swagger at SummerSlam. That's something that the WWE should really look forward to scheduling and putting together. Next up, we had Chris Jericho versus Bray Wyatt. Now, I was really looking forward into this matchup. I was really pulling for Chris Jericho in this one. As a fan, Bray Wyatt really needs that legitimate push. Bray Wyatt, after having that successful run with John Cena, I thought that if you put him in a rivalry, probably with Randy Orton, or probably with Kane, the devil's favorite demon, but he's not even close to that. Get Bray Wyatt more in-ring ability. Yes, he's been as Husky Harris, he wasn't used properly with the Nexus and everything like that. Put him in a legitimate rivalry. John Cena with him was a legitimate run, was a good run with him, but it wasn't good enough for Bray Wyatt to really come out as a whole. Come out and break out through the barriers. Have him start facing the top main event talent. Don't just automatically throw him into the Sharks. Don't put the title on him immediately just because he does good promos. He needs to earn it. John Cena and Bray Wyatt had a great rivalry. Put him together with Chris Jericho, and this was a very good match. I didn't like the way that it ended. Chris Jericho got an easy code breaker on Bray Wyatt to end the matchup, and Chris Jericho wins easily. And that was pretty much it. It was nothing really to this matchup. It was a couple of back and forth action between the two, whether it's multiple code breakers, Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt family trying to getting involved a little bit. Chris Jericho overcomes the odds and defeats Bray Wyatt. I'm really excited to see what the WWE will have in store for both of these competitors. Hopefully that they can culminate this rivalry at SummerSlam, so we can see a much bigger Bray Wyatt push for the championship. Probably around Night of Champions, or possibly going into the October pay-per-view. So we'll just have to take everything with a grain of salt at this point, and hopefully, Bray Wyatt, will get the time that he needs facing off against no doubt in my mind, Hall of Famer Chris Jericho. Next up, we had the 20-man Battle Royal, and I was just like, I knew it. I predicted Dolph Ziggler to win the championship. When I was processing the video, I was like, isn't Dolph Ziggler going to be with Layla and Summer Rae against Fandango? Because just a couple of weeks ago on Raw, they were kind of kissing. Summer Rae was kind of kissing Dolph Ziggler, and Layla and Fandango are together, so we can see some sort of an angle there. And I was like, let's hopefully we'll probably break away from that. I was like, hopefully it's the right move for me. I see, Dolph Ziggler and The Miz should be going at, in a brawl between each other, and I called it. I freaking called it, ladies and gentlemen. The Miz tonight, making his return just a couple of weeks ago. I was looking forward to seeing a CM Punk return, but there's nothing has changed on CM Punk's side. The WWE was confirming return of a big time champion. I was like, oh man, this is CM Punk, and it wasn't CM Punk. It was actually The Miz, and he made this corny superstar Miz kind of a look, Hollywood Miz, kind of copying off what The Rock was back in 2003. Chris Jericho made his return just a couple of weeks ago in the Stanford, Connecticut. A matchup or event, so Hartford, Connecticut, I should say. That's where, Jericho and Miz made their returns. And, at the end of this entire Battle Royal, a lot of people were pulling for, Bray Wyatt. Alex Riley chose Heath Slater. I'm like, Alex Riley, if the WWE wants to use those budget cuts, cut Alex Riley, please. Get someone a little bit more better than Alex Riley on commentary. I mean, he was just not cutting it tonight. I was overall disappointed in Riley's commentary for the kickoff show. Someone please replace him. So, at the end of the show, it came down to 4-man. It was Heath Slater eliminating Cesaro. Everybody was just waiting for the Cesaro push. What is holding Cesaro back? Why is the WWE holding Cesaro back? We have no idea why the WWE is doing this, and I don't really like it. Cesaro is a much, he's the future of the company. He deserves, some sort of title on him, whether it's the United States Championship or the Intercontinental Championship. And the WWE refuses to put either or on him. So he gets eliminated by Heath Slater. So we remain, 4 men remaining. It was Ziggler, The Miz, Sheamus, and Heath Slater, and easily, Heath Slater was eliminated, and then it came down to just, it felt like, Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus. Dolph Ziggler eliminates Sheamus, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, once Ziggler eliminates Sheamus, The Miz comes in, captivates, and just throws him over the top rope. The Miz wins the championship, but they gotta use Miz for something. You just can't have, bring him back, after being that big-time movie star in the WWE for WWE films. They gotta do something with him. He's going to have, the WWE is just so short on the talent in the mid-card. They had to bring Miz back, get him more into the ring, and, they gotta start using him now. You just can't have him be like, okay, I want to put you in the movie, I want to put you in the movie, I want to put you in the movie, I want to put you in the movie. You gotta use him as an in-ring competitor, or there's just no point to having him on the roster. So they put the Intercontinental Championship on him. Hopefully we can get, someone like, Wade Barrett to come back, start a rivalry between him and The Miz, but with his current injury that's not, intact right now, Dolph Ziggler and The Miz is going to be a good rivalry. I expect this, to start happening. Hopefully we'll see an Intercontinental title match at SummerSlam between these two, because I called it, ladies and gentlemen. I said, Dolph Ziggler should win, and then Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz, the show off versus the Hollywood superstar and The Miz. That could be something that could be in the works. So, The Miz wins the Intercontinental Championship, and then kicking and finally ending the show, John Cena versus Randy Orton, Kane, and Roman Reigns. The WWE tonight did a great job with just teasing Roman Reigns winning the championship. He's done it, they did it tonight at least 3 or 4 times, multiple spears, the Superman punch on John Cena. The guy was booed out of the building. No one wants to see John Cena as the champion, but we all have to understand why the WWE was going to put it on him, because the WWE is setting up for a possible John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. I know we're just about 4 to 5 weeks just right outside SummerSlam. We are looking forward to that matchup, and I said at this event, we have to see something big. That WWE has got to put something on the table right now to start a legitimate build-up to SummerSlam, whether it's, you're having, Brock Lesnar come out now, or John Cena having to, do something to get, the fans warmed up for SummerSlam. And the WWE failed to deliver that. Along with, the constant jamming down our throats of the network during the matchup and also throughout the entire show. The WWE is just, so desperate for it. And, John Cena, the entire company failed to ultimately impress us in the long run. It was such an easy way to figure out that John Cena was going to win. This matchup seems a little bit silly to me because, it was Kane and Randy Orton. Kane was pretty much, backing Randy Orton the entire matchup when you really look at it, because, they were, backstage in the beginning of the show saying, the Authority wants this championship. Randy Orton still sees himself as the face of the company. We all know, sadly, I hate to admit it, I'm not a John Cena fan at all, but you know what? John Cena is the face of this company. I give the guy his credit. I like what he does in the community. I do the Best Buddies program, so I do appreciate what John Cena does in the community and everything like that, but in the end, John Cena is not the greatest in-ring competitor, and the WWE is just handing him over these championships. So I cannot wait till SummerSlam till we possibly see a whole new look and a whole new direction at champion. So at the end of the show, John Cena wins easily, doing the FU, aka the Attitude Adjustment, the PG version of it, hitting it onto Kane. John Cena, retains the championship, and that ultimately just ends the show. It wasn't really the greatest event in all. I would give this show maybe out of 10 stars, a 2 at best. This show was just so bad. I didn't really like it a whole lot. The match that really, shined on me was obviously the Usos and the Wyatt family. I think if I'm going to go back and watch this, I'm actually, rewatching the event right now. I just got done watching it, and, it replays on the WWE Network. But you know what? If I'm actually going to sit here and watch this event over, I'm going to go back and watch the Usos versus the Wyatt family. The Usos never fail to put on great matches. They always put on great matches. Their high-flying ability is a surplus in this company, in the tag team division. I think, a third time's a charm for the Wyatt family. I think they're going to end up having another tag team matchup at SummerSlam. I think they're going to end up putting, possibly, hopefully we can get like an Extreme Rules match. The WWE really needs SummerSlam to be their legitimate, pay-per-view. They've got to start using some match stipulations. The same thing with Rusev and Jack Swagger, Ultimate Submission matchup. Put that together for SummerSlam. SummerSlam is a must sell out for the WWE. Yeah, it sells out in arenas, but you know what? The WWE needs to sell it out on the WWE Network, and they really need to use this 4 to 5 weeks to build up SummerSlam to the best of their ability. You start using match stipulations. Don't have regular one-on-one matches because we get really boring. It's events like this that we do not want to order the WWE Network. Entertain us, WWE. Do not put, crappy pay-per-views like WWE Battleground together. Have, Rollins and Ambrose forfeit the matchup. Have the entire match called off. That was by far the most, skull-crushing finale, I would like to say. It really just takes my head and just makes it explode that the WWE would do that. That was a matchup that we were all wanting to see, and we wanted to see Ambrose and Rollins, but the WWE thought it was such a good idea just to pull it off of the card. So overall, this show was not really that good. If you guys really want to go back and watch it, be my guest. If you guys want to challenge me in a debate down below, go ahead and challenge me. I was not a fan of this show. This show needs a whole lot of improvement. Hopefully next year they can get that done. And this is an event that WWE should forget for a long time. Michael Cole, the commentary was just so bad. Michael Cole's the ultimate guy to blame. He calls Takis. I'm in Arizona. I eat Takis all the time. I buy it, a whole lot. I love it. It's a great chip. He calls it Takis. The guy can't even pronounce anything right. So, Michael Cole, shame on you for your commentary. This show overall was just a big thumbs down. 2 out of 10 stars. The 2 stars are, for each, member of the Usos. 1 star goes to the Usos, 1 star goes to the Wyatt family. The rest of the show is just, mediocre at best, not good at all. But if you want to watch it, go ahead. Leave your guys' thoughts down below. I'm Justin Godsey for the Justin Godsey TV. I'll catch you guys in my next video.